All right, y'all. White bigots getting humbled after saying black people have low IQs. We're going to get straight into this video, but I need y'all to...
Hype me up.
It's still kind of early, you know. I know y'all still got a couple of them left for your boy.
About me isn't dateable for a white woman.
Your genetics.
What about it?
Black people have, it's not just skin color.
Okay,
They have
what is it?
lower IQ, lower impulse control. Black people not only never developed an advanced civilization, they can't maintain one.
Do you think that...
Y'all saw the guy? Really? Bruh, you should see the comments of people like, hey, bro, you just, you know, they walk up on these interracial couples, black guy, white girl. Hey, you know, you're ruining 50,000 years of evolution. Meanwhile, the dude look like Benjamin Button. Come on, man. Make it make sense.
black people are in any way inferior to white people?
Yes.
Which ways, Bubba?
I mean, they literally have the lowest IQ between blacks and whites, so
Would you like to do an IQ test right now between yourself and me?
mine would be much higher.
You think so?
I know, so I don't need to think.
Hey, what's the mitochondria?
The what?
Mitochondria.
So you're going to try these big words to actually try to...
Super simple question. It's literally,
It's
what,
not,
fourth
so-
grade science? What's the mitochondria?
Actually, it's not. You're just trying to use big words to sound smarter when you're not.
See, these people are stupid. Now, I don't know if everybody would know what mitochondria is, but I know what it is because I have a degree in biology and chemistry. So I know that's the powerhouse of the cell, creates ATP, ATP it is. And yeah, bro, this dude is straight up.
Oh, okay, so you don't know what the mitochondria is.
Okay, so stop trying to use big words.
That's
little buddy,
literally
so-
it's fourth grade science.
No, it's not.
It's fourth grade. It literally is fourth grade science.
Do you remember the fourth grade? 'Cause I don't.
Of course, you don't remember the fourth grade. You probably went to one of them states, schools in the bottom top 10. Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Kentucky, you know, the dumbest states in the union. And I ain't trying to shit on everybody because I lived in two of the states. But I'm just saying, we're not the smartest states because of people like this.
It's okay. Hey, what's the square root of 81?
Yeah, so
Nine.
yeah, so what? So I'm trying to debate Dean, not some dumbass nigga.
What's this? Oh, STR. Slur to run. Hey, did you see on his profile that it said that he's a Southern Baptist minister?
I did see that.
Yeah, I saw it coming. The question I had was, I wanted to know, why does he vote alongside of the Klan if he's a minister? But obviously that's why.
Because they're racist. It's really just that simple. You know, they used to give sermons to slaves back in the day, and they call themselves Baptist Christians. They're still racist.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, all good.
About that, Santana.
I've been called worse by better people.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna laugh it off because I think that it's incredibly f***ed up. But of course, you know, you are the victim of it, and you have the ability to laugh it off as you wish. But what I will say for everybody watching is, if you're unsure about the existence of systemic racism oppressing black and brown people, but not white people, watch my stream and then watch Santana's stream. I've never seen better and more clear evidence of the existence of racism against black and brown people that does not exist against white people. Santana has been on the live for 3 seconds and he's already been disparaged for his race. I haven't been disparaged for my race in 3 years. So I don't know. Keep that in mind.
I don't know.
I'm glad this guy acknowledges his white privilege.
When they don't have anything, that's what they go to. I mean, and you know, that was on me. I shouldn't have embarrassed them so quickly. Like, that was on me.
Embarrassed him. You embarrassed him. You, oh my god. You embarrassed him. I'll happily send you that clip from my live stream. I've just never seen a better embarrassment.
He should have asked the dude what's 6 times 7. He probably would have slumped him with that one. Don't even start talking about cubed. He didn't know what square was, let alone what's the cube root of 81. He would never figure that out, dog. These people are slow. But let me show y'all another video right quick. Watch this. This is going to bring it all together for y'all.
Hold up. I want to work on your pattern recognition. Hold up. This is a map where the education standards for preschool and middle school are the lowest. And it's also a map of the least educated people in America. Do you see that map? This is a map of the most reliably voting Republican states in America. That's just the map. Okay, ready? Okay. This is a map of the most religious states in America. The darker they are, the more, no? Okay, hold on. This is a map of the lowest life expectancy in America. All right, hold up. This is a map where teen pregnancy is highest in America. Yes? Do you see the pattern across the map? No? How about this? Ground News is a media aggregator app that shows you the blind spots of Republicans and Democrats, the articles that are not getting reported on by Republican outlets and the ones that are not getting reported on by Democratic outlets. And the other day, President Trump had an overhaul that could change the preschool standards in these red states, making their educations a lot worse. And no Republicans are reporting on it. No, we don't see the who benefits on keeping you poor, prayerful, and undereducated. And that's a real question. There's a data question behind that. Which political party relies off of those votes? Do you think it's an accident that the least educated voters in America continuously vote against their own economic advantages? There's a vested interest in keeping these states undereducated and overly religious and pregnant and dying early and angry at Democrats.
So the guy from the first clip, yeah, let's be real, bro. You know he lived in one of them states. You know he do, just off the accent alone and the lack of intelligence and the fact that he hates black people. We know he lives in one of those states. But don't fret, I got another dummy to show y'all.
White people have high IQ. We invented everything.
Asian people have higher IQ. So do Jews.
White people are, I think, different, it's fair to say.
How?
Does he come off as intelligent? He sounds stupid and looks stupid. Like he's confused. Like I'm trying to come up with something. Like come on, bro.
Everyone, there's a difference between, did you agree there's a difference between the races?
It depends on what you mean. Like melanin, yeah, sure.
So who has higher IQ, Africa or white Americans?
Typically, not just white Americans, all Americans have higher IQ. Do you know why?
Well, the black people here a lot of times are mixed, and then the weaker ones died for various reasons.
There's a study in Afghanistan. IQ in Afghanistan, when we started giving them nutrition and education, we would look at a mother who hadn't had nutrition and education versus when we started allowing, for the 20 years we were in Afghanistan, letting girls enter school and ensuring better nutrition. Guess how many IQ points on average the daughters had higher than their mothers?
Oh, if they're getting proper nutrition, I bet.
And education.
I don't know about educate, like...
the biggest predictor of later IQ is exposure to vocabulary early on.
Oh, okay. So you can raise your IQ if you're reading books when you're young.
Or talking to your kids lots. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I still don't think you could give a 70 IQ Somalian all the help in the world.
IQ tests are biased as hell, bro. It would be like a person who grew up in the wilderness giving a white person like him an IQ test based on how he grew up living, and he would bomb it, he would fail it, and then he says, you're stupid because you're not good at this stuff that you were never trained for. It'll be like, hey man, look, not being able to tell the difference between a non-venomous snake versus a venomous snake, a non-edible plant versus a poisonous plant, this water source versus that water source, prey versus foe, east, west, north, south, constellations of stars, little intricacies that only someone who grew up living off the land would know, but they would call you stupid because you don't know it and you've never been exposed to it. That's why the IQ test is crazy. You can't sit up there and say people are dumb because they didn't excel in a test that you were trained to take.
A psychology professor at the University of Winnipeg was teaching his students that people who are black have lower IQs and that they are more likely to commit murder than white people. His name is Professor Jeremy Freimer, and students obviously filed complaints because that's incorrect. His defense is that the statistics are there. There are statistics that say these things. But the thing that I find so incredibly interesting, especially in somebody who is academically teaching psychology, that thrives on studies, is that statistics are like a bikini. What they reveal is interesting, but what they cover is crucial. For example, there's a statistic that exists that says in Canada, Jewish people experience the most hate crimes. And you could read that statistic and feel in your heart that it is true. But what you must understand first is that in order to report a hate crime, you must have faith in the police and you must report them to police. That truth becomes a little bit foggy because, yes, Jews reported more hate crimes than any other minority groups in Canada, but we can't ignore the glaring fact that in Northern Ontario, in honestly any place, there's probably so many Indigenous people who aren't reporting hate crimes. There's definitely a lot of Black folks who aren't reporting hate crimes. And it's those hidden parts of the statistic that make those statistics untrue. In the example of black people are more genetically inclined to commit crime, in order to make that claim, you would have to find the gene for murder in DNA, which does not exist. Therefore, you would have to look at other socioeconomic standards because race is not the common denominator here. Could you find a statistic that says men between the ages of X and Y who grew up without present parents in their household, who lived in households making under X amount of dollars, who had experienced juvenile detention between the ages of X and Y, are more likely to commit? Yes, you could create a statistic like that. But when there is nothing in the actual genetic material that is telling you, oh, check, commit more crime, check, have a lower IQ, then you have to start looking at other factors because race is not the common denominator there. And I think it's actually absolutely appalling that somebody in an academic field would not have the vision to see it that way. And during the pandemic, Trump said, well, if we stop testing, then we're going to stop having cases of COVID. That's kind of why these statistics exist. In places that are over-policed, such as black neighborhoods, you're going to find more crime because there are more police there. That incredibly narrow-minded, closed-minded, I'm looking for statistics that affirm my own personal beliefs, that has no place in academia. And I'm so proud of all of those students for coming through and being like, this is not correct. Even if you have the statistics to prove it, this is not correct.
The crazy thing is this, dude. You'll never really find a high IQ racist white boy or white woman because they can't be smart people if you present evidence that flips everything that they believe ideology-wise on its face and not change their stance. You just can't do that. If I tell you the number, the statistics, I give you the sources, credible people who cited the sources, and you still say, well, I just don't agree with that. You're stupid and you're unintelligent. That's just what it is, bro. Crazy. And then y'all be gullible. Like they tell you things that just don't make no sense. Like back in the day when they was talking about slaves, they told y'all that we had thicker skin.
Being racist is proof of a low IQ, and we need to start treating it as such. There is no reason in the year 2025 we let people sit in our face and be like, yeah, you're better than me because of the color of your skin.
Right.
Truly. Like, why do we even still have these conversations? I don't even understand why we give people platforms and allow them to speak about these things, because it's like we're going in circles and circles and circles about something that fundamentally does not matter, that they've made us they've made matter in order to divide us. And so many of these people are either brainwashed or so hateful and unempathetic that they genuinely believe that race is the end-all be-all. Like, I would love to have racists in my comments right now. Tell me what valid reasons you have for thinking that you are better than any other race because you're white or because you're any other race. Like, I believe this goes with every race who believes that they're above any minority. But at the end of the day, in America at least, white people made this country. The rules were built for them, by them. So we can acknowledge that systematic racism is real. And we need to stop acting like these racists are just not stupid. Yeah, like, why do you think, like, fundamentally it's not logical in the slightest?
Yeah, bro, they got this country by robbing, stealing, and conniving and finessing and, breaking peace treaties, breaking all kind of treaties. They didn't operate above board. They didn't do it the right way. They stole it. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why a lot of these white people think that they're better than everyone, because their everyday existence, they get this privilege that tells them that they're better than us. They experience it, they feel it, and it's like, all right, I see I get treated a certain type of way, and those people get treated a certain type of way. I must be the superior one.
So what you guys have to understand is that, welcome, this is white supremacy. It's irrational. It's not sensible. And unfortunately, Candace Owens is not qualified to debunk him, which would be, frankly, quite easy to do. But welcome. This is white supremacy. No facts needed. No truth needed.
development and investment and things like that. But, you know, again, when you look at the antecedents of all these, you know, the history didn't start, like you said, with World War II in the 20th century. There's a reason that European civilization created this enormous gap between them and everybody else. And I don't think it was that it was white supremacy or it was unfair or something like that. I think it's because Europeans are smarter. I think that on average, Europeans
So to
are
use
smarter.
your argument against you,
No,
that could
it's not because they're smarter. It's because they're just more deceitful. They smile in your face and then they stab you in your back. That's how they able to do what they did. People came over there like, oh yeah, these people are real friendly and nice and giving. Let's take advantage of them. That's what happened.
could be said about Ashkenazis. So if you're sitting here saying, I believe in some conspiracy and that it's a coordinated effort and blah, 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 they could look at you and say, that's a leftist argument. We're just smarter.
May I acknowledge chemical rights? A few old buildings in Africa, the Getty ruins, Great Zimbabwe, ruins of Axum, thank you, Kilwa, Kisiwani, Tethers. This comment is another example of FBA protecting protecting Africa's history.
Hey, bro, one thing that both them have in common, Candace and Nick Fuentes, they wasn't accepted by their own kind. They hate their own kind. And now they're seeking that approval from white people. And they don't give a what they do to keep it and to receive it. But these people will never be happy, because just as long as you are seeking approval, your happiness will never belong to you. It's always going to belong to them. And then they're going to discard you one day, and we're not going to accept you back. At least we ain't accepting no Candace back.
There you go.
I think they are smart.
They are
smarter.
I think
they're
the smartest.
White as a team. People get that way. The Talmud is. The education wars in the high school standardized tests are almost all Asians in math and science. Asians aren't overrepresented in power. It's Jewish people. So Jewish people are not, proportionally as more intelligent as they are more overrepresented. And that goes to their real superpower, which is they're an organized minority. An organized minority will be the disorganized majority. As far as
That's funny. I'm pretty sure that Nick Fuentes follows the ism. He absolutely does follow the ism. That's actually a quotation from Vladimir Ilyich Plekhanov of Lenin. I don't think he knows that because he's heard me say it, but curious. And that is a fact. He's correct in that. It's one of the few correct things he said tonight.
as Africa is concerned, they didn't have the wheel. We got there, they didn't have the wheel. And it's unfortunate. It's not anything that...
It's wild that Candace is not able to reply to this.
She's stupid.
People are happy about. I don't...
Young black kids...
Candace could have threw out the pyramids in Egypt and slumped everything he just said. Real talk. They still don't know how the hell they built them damn pyramids. To this day, the smartest people in the world can't reproduce a pyramid. And the pyramid is older than any structure that they have created. And that was created by black people. And for anyone who disagrees with what I just said about Egypt, I know you haven't read this book. I know you don't know. And this book is dense. No dummy can read this book, I promise you. You have to have some intelligence to make it through this book. Do that look like modern day Egyptians to y'all? Does it? It doesn't. It doesn't. None of them look like that. Come on, man. I don't see nobody living in Egypt today that look like this.
Growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
The average IQ in some parts of sub-Saharan Africa is under 75, which is considered mentally disabled. East Asians have measurably a higher average IQ than Europeans, and they're less criminal and they're more prosperous.
So you're saying Asians are smarter than us?
Yes, on average.
But he liked to leave out things like you go to the UK and black people are outperforming everyone else. They love to leave out that kind of stuff. People coming from the areas that he's talking about immigrate to the UK and they're poor and they still outperform his people. So they only like to highlight the statistics that favor them in their arguments.
Yeah. Like every Japanese person I've met, or like Korean, seems really smart. But I've met some Chinese people where it's like, really? I feel like they're fudging the numbers on that one, to be honest.
As far as most experts are concerned, all of these IQ numbers are fudged. Here's a bit more about that from somebody who knows his shit, because I feel like it's worth it.
These tests were made for the purpose of figuring out who's going to do well in school. It doesn't predict terribly well to many kinds of real-world successes. There's so much it doesn't tell you. That it doesn't tell you about emotional intelligence, creative intelligence, common sense, wisdom. There's so much more to a person than just their IQ. I would say the major problem has been what's sometimes called scientific racism, but it's not really scientific. It's using the guise of science to advance racist
pseudoscience,
because you sometimes get racial differences in different kinds of test scores, including IQ, that don't take into account where those differences may come from. It was convenient for some people to say, well, look, we can divide people by nationality or socially defined race or ethnic group or religion into different IQ groups, and they probably believe themselves that it told you something, but it didn't tell you what they thought it told you. People with high IQs are often better at convincing themselves of whatever they want. So in other words, they use their IQ for self-justification. They're better at justifying whatever they want to believe. So if they have an ideology, they may have a very weird ideology, but they'll find ways to defend it even if it's not factually accurate.
People just stupid, bro. They used to use like little things like the skull size. Okay, so white people have bigger skulls, therefore their brains are bigger, therefore they're more intelligent because they have the bigger brain. That don't mean nothing, bro. You can have a person who has a below average cranium and still be smarter than the person that got a big head like me. I'm just saying. And then another thing, just anecdotal, but like I know a few people that went to Ivy League schools and they all tell me the same thing. Yeah, them people really not that smart at Harvard. Like that is really the immigrants who are the smartest and the blacks. Because think about it. My boy was telling me this. He was a Harvard graduate. He was like, bro, coming out of high school, I didn't have the resources that all of the, the white boys and white girls that I went to school with had. They took the SAT prep classes. My mom couldn't afford to pay a tutor. My mom couldn't afford to send me to private school. I went to a public school in New Orleans. I didn't take a prep class for the ACT, and I still performed well because I'm actually gifted. These people, they kind of force their ways into these schools. It's either like nepotism or, someone in their family went to that school. They got a building named after them. It's not because they're intelligent. They're getting in because they have power, right? And then everyone else gets in there and they outperform those students, and those students feel entitled and they feel some type of way. And they say things like, you only got in here because you're black, even though I'm outperforming you with my black ass. This is the story that I hear echoed from almost every black person that I've known that went to an Ivy League school. Those people are not as impressive as they would want you to think they are. But I'm going to let the video end here. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to get at y'all on the next one.
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.